Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Our gathering will open with the service for the victims of the exodus of Serbs from Republike Srpske Krajine on August 5th, 1995. I call for our Reverend Mihajlo Dodor, protopresbyter Stavrofor.
Neka Gospod Bog primi našu molitvu. Neka On se smiluje na one nevine žrtve koji su ubijeni, ne da kažem bilo od koga, nego baš od zločinaca. Jer nisu bila vojna lica, nego obični ljudi. To su bili i roditelji, deca, starci. Nijedan od njih, koliko mi je poznato, nije bio u vojnoj uniformi, nego su to bili obični ljudi koji su morali da se isele iz svoje kuće. Nažalost, to se dešava više puta i danas. Po celome svetu, raznim zemljama, ista stvar. Ali ostalo je nama da se molimo za te žrtve i da se molimo da jednom će doći opet mir u tim krajima našim i da naši koji otuda potiču mogu jednog dana i da se vrati i da žive mirno. Bog da im dušu prosti, da podari rajsko naselje. We have prayed today for victims of genocide. Pure, simple genocide. These were not combatants. These were ordinary people, mothers and fathers, children, grandparents, people who were forced to evacuate their homes. It was ethnic cleansing at its worst. And we should never forget that, and we should always, but not remember it with the spirit of revenge, but with faith in God that those who have suffered, there's a life beyond this life. There is a life that we have been promised through the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. May God accept our prayer. May He grant all of those who have suffered and died in this storm or oluja, may He grant them eternal rest and eternal memory. Bog da im dušu prosti.
Thank you, Father. My name is Gordana Laković, and I am your host for today. Our gathering has only two goals. First, to commemorate the victims' historical event, and second, to honor the sacrifice of Canadian men and women in uniform, the members of the United Nations force who served during this event. Our guests today are His Excellency the Ambassador of Republike Srpske in Canada, Mihajlo Papazoglu, Her Worship Madame Mayor Bonnie Crombie of Mississauga, Consul General of the Republic of Serbia in Toronto, Mr. Vasilije Petković, and our special guest of the event, Dr. Colin C.M. Campbell. So I would like to call first Mr. Žarko Brestovac, to the President of the Serbian Heritage Academy of Canada, to welcome you to today's event. And thank you all for coming.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All I will say is thank you for your coming to this sad bout, noble occasion. I hope that this is going to become a tradition of the Serbian Heritage Academy from now on. It's our duty to remember all those who lost their lives and those who lost their homes and their homeland forever. It is also our obligation to remind ourselves of and to honor the sacrifice of Canadians in uniform and what they did at the time, as well as what Canada did for many of those exiled people and their families by becoming their second home. We cannot forget. Thank you, Canada, and thank you all once again for being a part of this commemoration. Thank you for coming here today.
We will use this opportunity to present our new Consul General of the Republic of Serbia in Toronto, Mr. Vasilije Petković, and we will call for him to say a few words and be seen by everybody so that the people know who their new consul is.
On August 5th, 22 years ago, in a military operation Storm, the armed forces of the Republic of Croatia, supported by various phalanx and expertly consulted from abroad, expelled 250,000 of its own citizens of Serbian nationality. During this military operation, according to the official data, 2,313 Serbs were killed, of which 522 women and 12 children. These are the official figures. There are the other sources that says that these figures are much higher, but yet to be proved. Over 20,000 homes have been destroyed or damaged, which until today have not been rebuilt, restored, or fully paid off their value to expelled Serbs. The military operation Storm is officially declared by the International Crime Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia as a war crime supported by groups of organized crime, with the goal of ethnic cleansing of Serbs from the Republic of Croatia. Let us never forget these facts. However, during this unfortunate and tragic event, it should be noted that always mentioned that the members of the Canadian military within the United Nations peacekeeping forces, in accordance with the basic principles of United Nations, defended and protected Serbian people in the Republic of Croatia and had armed conflict with Croatian armed forces in which they suffered themselves as well. Let us never forget this act too of humanity, for which they have eternal gratitude from Serbian people. The occasion of the 22nd anniversary of expelling Serbs from the Republic of Croatia here in Canada, however, provides an opportunity to emphasize the connection between the Serbian people and Canada. Seeking protection and security for their families, expelled Serbs from the Republic of Croatia first fled to Serbia, from where a number of them emigrated to Canada, where they found a new life, becoming Canadians themselves. Some would say they were lucky after all, but that was an act of destiny. Today, Canadians of Serbian descent give an exceptional contribution to Canadian society, enriching it not only in cultural and national sense, but in economical and political significance as well, thus making a great bridge between Serbian and Canadian people. This bridge provides an opportunity for mutual improvement and growth of relations between Serbia and Canada. As Christianity is teaching us, as well as the other peace-loving religions, this so unfortunate and tragic event must never be forgotten, but should be forgiven. Even though this occasion it should be finished as it is now, I will finish it with the following words. Long live Serbians, long live Canadians. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present you His Excellency the Ambassador of the Republic of Serbia to Canada, Mr. Mihailo Papazoglu.
Dear citizens, dear dignitaries of the Serbian Orthodox Church here, your worship, dear Canadians, whoever thinks that what we just heard and the reason why we are here and is not convinced on that, let him go and check the number of expelled 22 years ago on the site of our Chancellery for Refugees. Whoever needs a proof how many people died, let him go and check the names of killed and missing persons on the site of Veritas. And whoever really thinks and needs an additional proof of what happened 22 years ago, let him go to the site of the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia in Hague and check what they were thinking about that. At least for one, they were right. But once again and again and again, we should also think about the 2nd Battalion of Princess Light Infantry, Princess Patricia Light Infantry, that was a couple years ahead of what happened in '95 in the Operation Medak Pocket was there for the Serbs who lived in this part of Croatia. At one point of time, even literally by imposing themselves in between the fire lines, they tried to save some 600 Serbs from Croatia. They did it with commitment and they did it with conviction. So once again, on today's day when Serbia mourns, we also honor this memory of Canadian soldiers that unfortunately, by saving 600, were not able to save 88 persons who were killed. Once again, being in Canada, what we were trying to do is all naturally bringing Serbs and Canadians all together. And what we are doing today, it happened not only here in Mississauga, where we have a pleasure to have your worship, Mayor of Mississauga, but also in Oakville, also in Milton, and almost in Ottawa, also in Ottawa. So in those 4 places. We had also support for the Canadian-Serbian Parliamentary Group of Friendship in the House of Commons and Senate of Canada. And in almost all 26 Serbian churches across Canada, where fellow Serbs and fellow Canadians, Serb and Canadian citizens were mourning yesterday and today and even tomorrow. I think that is of what is utmost importance that this continues, that we do this with Serbian and Canadian flag in hand. And at the end of the day, I had a pleasure to submit to some medias here in Canada, to Globe and Mail and National Post, a written article on that one that was stated even a great Nikola Tesla would have been a refugee in Canada today. If he would be alive to see what happened in '95 and being an electric engineer, he would probably be a refugee, certainly, and choosing Canada to come. So with these words, let us continue to be united, and also, as my colleague said, long live Serbia, long live Canada. Thank you very much. May I also announce your worship, Bonnie Crombie, to give you your statement. Thank you very much.
Dobar dan. To Ambassador Papazoglou and to the new Consul General Petkovic, we welcome you. We welcome you to Canada. We welcome you today to Mississauga. I'm sorry I wasn't confirmed with my attendance. As you can hear, I'm a little bit under the weather. But I wanted to make an effort to come out and be with the Serbian people. I'm honored to be here with you to commemorate the victims. It does remind me of incidents that occurred in Poland and Katan and in Ukraine and the Holodomor. But mostly I want to come to say how grateful I am for the contribution of the Serbian people to Canada, and particularly for those of you who have chosen Mississauga to be your home. We are very thankful. The Serbian people have made a great contribution to Canada. In particular, thank you. In particular to Mississauga. I am Polish background, as many of you know. I understand, Reverend Father, thank you for your beautiful words. Much of your language, being Polish and Ukrainian, they're very similar Slavic backgrounds, so I think we understand each other. And we share similar values and principles. And the Serbian people, like my people, very hardworking, very determined, very loyal, reliable people. And the contributions you have made, whether it's as friends and neighbors, artists, journalists, entrepreneurs, business people who keep our economy growing, we thank you. Every year we have a chance to celebrate with the Serbian people in May, when we celebrate all the cultures in Mississauga at a festival called Karasaga. And the Serbian Pavilion, though it has only been around for the past 3 years, is always one of the better ones. So we thank you. So I came today because I've missed out on a few of your events, and I wanted to show my support. Also to welcome the new Consul General and welcome His Excellency and Reverend Father to Mississauga. So thank you for having me. Hvala vam. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship, Madame Mayor Bonnie Crombie. We will make short artistic break here, and I'll call for our artist Ksenija Vučević, who will be followed by the poet-writer Radovan Gajić.
Good evening. Whatever I'm going to say tonight is about war, about death, about pain, about suffer, about life, about love. Rekli su da će tog avgustovskog dana padati možda slaba letnja kiša, a ne da će biti oluja. Oluja. Oduvala nas je. Oduvala je sve detinjstva, sve mladosti, sve spokojne starosti. Oduvala nas je sa naših ognjišta. Nas, 250.000 Srba. Bežimo u koloni kojoj se ne vidi kraja. Bože, Bože, koliko ljudi na jednom mestu, toliko još nisam videla. Pa šta smo to mi? Nesrećnici? Stradalnici? Bože, da li vidi svet sav naš bol, našu patnju, jad, čemer, nemir, beznađe? Dok idem u koloni, čujem još uvek, čujem glas koji viče pali, čujem jezive krike, živine i stoke žive, zapaljene. Ne, ja moram ušima da pokrijem uši. Ne boj se, dovikne mi neko iz grupe. U taj mah sve utihnu. Samo se kroz kolonu čulo spasi, 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 spasi Bože ljude ove i blagoslovi ih ti. Spasi Bože ovaj narod, narod nebeski. I tako, prognani u koloni, ne brojimo dane koje smo proveli u njoj, nego izgubljene živote. A ja još uvek želim, i samo to želim, da ponovo budem zajedno sa tobom kao nekada. Da se volimo kao nekada. Ali znam, nikad više onog leta nema zašto cvet da cveta. Umrle su oči tvoje, sve je prošlo, gotovo je.
The Blue Helmet, for Lester B. Pearson, the extraordinary Canadian. For all the suddenly deprived, for the poor, for the destitute, for the refugees, for the lost when the world relations take downward slope. Born by Canadians, the military blue helmet is the only island of hope. In the times of ancients, the hero was honored for his deed with the piece of exclusive velvet. For the heroes of nowadays, the most noble velvet is the military blue helmet. When surrounded by the destruction of war, to be safe wants not to take a look where the enemy's barrage coming from. Instead, in the war field, wants to look for the blue helmet as a shield. The military blue helmet is not a simple shield. Where the war's a state of art, the blue helmeted angels come out of safe heavenly standing of the Canadian heart.
Now, I will present to you Dr. Colin C.M. Campbell, who will put more light on the sad event that gathered us here today.
Dobar dan, Your Excellency, Your Worship, drugovi i drugova. About 15 years ago, most of my students were from Serbia, from the Krajina. And I decided that I would visit the Krajina, particularly Kanin, and find out a little bit about where they came from and what the story was all about. I learned about the Canadian peacekeepers in the Medak Pocket, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. And I have a short presentation of slides that describe the story. We actually met Colonel Calvin. I took many of my students down to meet him and thank him for the work that the peacekeepers did, saving villages in the Medak Pocket. So I'll say a little bit about that as well. Canada is a provider of peacekeepers in UN missions around the world. One example was the 2nd Battalion of the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry in the Medak Pocket of Croatia in 1993. It's necessary to distinguish between peacekeeping and peacemaking. Peacekeeping implies there is a peace agreement between the two sides in a conflict. In this case, there was a peace agreement called the Vance Peace Accord between the Croatian government in Zagreb and the Krajina Serb government in Kanadi. Peacekeepers monitor infringements, record them, and disarm violators with the support of both sides. Peacekeepers are not peacemakers. If one or both sides break the agreement, then peacekeepers lose their mandate and are supposed to withdraw. And it's very important to understand this in order to understand the situation in Medak. Peacekeepers may fire only if they are attacked, and this can be extremely painful for them. One soldier described it as being like a firefighter with a fire truck and a hose, watching people die in burning buildings and being ordered not to help them. Some background to the operation. In the opinion of many diplomats, the immediate cause of the breakup of Yugoslavia in 1991 was the premature recognition of Croatia and Slovenia, in particularly due to pressure from Germany. The Yugoslav People's Army the JNA, or Yugoslav People's Army, then had to take steps to protect Serb communities in Croatia, Bosnia, and Kosovo. In Croatia, after the fall of Vukovar, the president of Yugoslavia, Slobodan Milosevic, wanted to stop the attacks, stop the war, since the Serb communities were largely safe. President Tudjman of Croatia agreed, since this gave him time to buy arms, and this gave rise to the Vance Peace Accord. Between September the 9th and September the 17th in 1993, the Croats began to advance in violation of the peace accord. Under international pressure, they were instructed to withdraw to the September 9 positions, and the Princess Patricias were told to move between the two sides and enforce the peace agreement. The problem was, however, that the Croatian special police had ethnically cleansed the village, shot all the animals, and poisoned the wells. And they needed time for a cleanup, otherwise the truth would be exposed that the Croats did ethnic cleansing, contrary to the myth in the Western press at that time. The Croat army fired on the Canadians, expected them to run away. Well, they were firing on Canadians, and so they stood their ground and fired back. And we had a 3-day firefight that I'm going to show on the PowerPoint presentation that I have. It's an admission of guilt as far as I'm concerned. We had not tightly enforced the arms embargo. As a result, both the Croatians and Bosnians were able to get some arms. We also authorized a private company to use retired US military personnel to improve and train the Croatian army. Americans in uniform, operating from a trailer near the runway, directed the GNAT 750 drone to photograph the Serb troop positions and weapons emplacements. Copies were sent to the headquarters of the Croatian general in command of Operation Storm, that's Operation Oluja, Newsweek, 2001. Major General Alain Foron, UN Forces Commander in the area of Operation Oluja. The Croatian government praised the job done for it by Military Professional Resources Incorporated. I don't think it was the Croats themselves that did that, adding he did not think they had the expertise.
Thank you, Mr. or Dr. Colin Campbell, for your detailed lecture. We will now have a short presentation of the video clips from the TV news of the year 1995 and past years about those who had to flee their own homes forever to save their lives. After the video clips, we will hear two poems by Katarina Kostić, read by Živko Cerović, and once again, we'll welcome Ksenija Vučević.
Katarina Kostić. Lomača za starce. Dime se krovovi do oblaka, dime se dugo, uporno. Kraj leta je. Reklo bi se, dimi se svinjsko meso u sušarama. Dimi se. Meso na staračkim nogama koje nemaju snage da od rata pobegnu. U plamenu nestaju i srce i glava i krih bola. Starci su zatvoreni u kućama, a svaka srpska kuća gori. Izgorela su i svedočenja, ali ne sva. Ispred jedne kuće mozak 80-godišnje starice prosut na sedištu kola, ispred druge nosi uši, ispred treće glava otkotrljana 3 metra od tela. A ima i trago orgijenja smrti nad grupama ljudi, ništa manje izvitoberenih od jasenovačkih. Ako kuća ne gori, u njoj orgija pohara, tranzistori, televizori, svinje i traktori još su i kako su za novog vlasnika lepi i korisni. Dimi se od srpskih života krajina. Za taj dim svet ima samo 5 minuta televizijskog vremena. Pusta cesta usred dana. Rekvijem za Okučana. Pusta cesta usred dana, nigde čoveka. Ni jednog užurbanog koraka, ni jednog usporenog hoda uz zvuk štapa i sipavog kašlja, ni jedne glave na otvorenom prozoru, ni jedne ispružene ruke sa hranom za kokoši i ptice. Ni jednog dečijeg glasa iz školskog dvorišta, ni dečijeg smeha, ni dečijeg plača. Bucke su jedini šetači po glavnoj cesti Okučana. Groktanje svinja u dvorištima, jedini glasovi. Pusta cesta usred dana, nigde čoveka. Samo tragovi bivših stanara, zgužvana haljina na prašnjavom drumu, oboren bicikl, razbacana po zemlji jastuci, poispadali u žurbi peškiri, tanjiri, najbolniji trag ispisan na nečijem stolu, zagriženim samo jednim zalogajem kriške hleba i mladog luka. Puste ceste, puste kuće. Posle 2 dana koraci u stroju seku tišinu. Plavi šlemovi zaštitnički provode sve do Zagreba vagone uhranjenih svinja. Niko ne pita gde su propale kolone razbežanih Srba i gde su još vrela njihova izrešetana tela. Bar da ih je neko upozorio da će posle pola veka Jasenovac licemerno, baš u maju, progutati ih ponovo.
Rat je jedno veliko zlo. Jer svi oni koji voleli su mene i koje volela sam ja, otišli su daleko, daleko i gledaju me sa neba. O, da li tamo miriše trava kao što je mirisala tu? O, da li tamo slavuji pevaju našu pesmu ljubavnu? Daj mi bar neki znak, koliko mi tvoja ljubav treba. Daj mi bar neki znak, dragi. Mahni mi sa neba. Onog dana kad su mi javili za tebe, you never said, I'm leaving. You never said goodbye. You were gone before we knew it, and only God knows why. In life, I loved you dearly. In death, I love you still. In my heart, I hold a place for you, a place that only you can feel. It broke my heart to lose you. But you didn't go alone. A part of me went with you the day God took you home. Our MC, Gordana Laković, has just published her first work in English under the title Dance of Life. The book is yet to be promoted. We will now hear a selection from this work, and in a way, it is the first promotion of Gordana's book, which deals with the area and the situations we devoted ourselves to today. Gordana Laković.
The column. It was a time when many people whose houses had been destroyed or burned, who had been driven from their homes, were fleeing to Serbia. Many of my relatives had walked hundreds of miles from Saradnji to Belgrade, carrying their shattered lives and some clothes on their back, their pride trampled on and their heads bowed. Uncle Misho came, but Aunt Steva had passed away. Their sons, who were now young men, came too. But the elderly stayed behind to be killed and burned on the doorsteps of the houses built by their grandfathers. They refused to leave, choosing to die in their homes rather than on the road. Like a stream of tears, the column flowed through the river bend decimated by war, and every ripple took it further and further from its source, abandoned once, but forever lost. They looked back, for a time standing at the border of destiny, looking at the flames that were devouring their past. And then they turned towards the setting sun, which shimmered in the blood-red sky. The rivers of columns came together as one, at the confluence of the unfortunate souls. Some were on the road, eyes became dry, mouths fell silent, and hearts hardened. A trampled life is no life at all. With her 2 children and husband, Gordana had fled from the house which was taken from them. The neighbors who used to drink coffee with them on the balcony moved in. Overnight, friends became what they have always been, what had been in their blood for centuries, handed down from the father to son. The small Catholicized Serbian tribes had risen against their Serbian brothers. Their time to take, to steal, to burn, to destroy, and to slaughter had come. Something that can be shackled for centuries was now unleashed. Rocking back and forth on the chair, she was still treading the lost pearls of destiny. She had no photos of herself or of her children, nor her birth certificate or an icon of their family saint. All of it had been destroyed by hatred and burned in wrath. She had nothing and didn't have anything. She didn't know who she was, nor why she was. They had walked in a column from Croatia to Serbia, one behind the other, one number beside the next, step by step, carrying the burden of mixed emotions. Where were they going, and would they ever get there? Her hands shaking, she had taken out a crumpled receipt that was left in her pocket and started writing with a blunt pencil. Step by step, thought by thought, she had put the burden of sleepless nights and a life without purpose into a poem. She had lost the paper when she had used her rain-soaked coat to cover the dead body of an old woman laying beside the road. But the words remained etched in her stone face, a face with no emotions. Just like her tears, they too had left her. She knew the poem by heart and started reciting it as if it were a confession, her eyes fixed on the column. As if marching, the word followed one by one, turning into images through the flicker of her voice. I wrote the poem down as she said it, with her rhythm, her poses, as she poured her soul onto the desk and the pile of paper. Number 7022000167. In the column of exiled, I'm waiting for a number from the official help. Numbers from the official policies of this world wait for numbers. I can't feel anything and I feel nothing. I don't have anything and I have nothing. My dignity, my cause of nothingness is melting under the Belgrade sun with the ever-growing demands of bodies without soul and the life without a soul to live. My home. Did I even have you back then? Perhaps you were just a dream of mine, with a window where our queen smiled in bloom. My life worth of living, did I even have you back then? Perhaps you were just a dream of mine, with a smile of a friend that no longer is. I was overwhelmed by emotions and tears rolled down my cheeks. The wound had opened its mouth again, and through it came the cries of the late souls of our grandfathers, brothers and fathers, their hands clenching pieces of burnt icons, of scattered rugs pulled out from beneath heavy chests, of memories and of bloody doorsteps where the hand of injustice had finally caught them. Perhaps they had died just to live in us forever. Gordana was looking at me in silence. Her eyes were lost in thought. The tears she had cried had been left behind in the cruel earth, trodden by the column of homeless. And now, when my memories take me back to the restlessness, which is once again rearing its head, I wonder where Gordana is. Has she managed to cure and heal her tormented soul? Has she found the road of life and the peace of her own happiness in a forgotten corner of this planet? I wonder whether she tried to unburden her soul by writing any more poems about her home and the country she had for at least a moment. I hope that one day these words will find their way to her and tell her that her pain has not been forgotten and that my thoughts are always with her. We will now see the remaining part of the video clips prepared by Zoran Rnjak, and in closing of the event we'll hear again Radovan Gajić.
U ime odanog prijateljstva stihu pitaš me, moj propercije, da ti kažem kog sam porekla, koje je džedova mojih ime i gde je moj rodni dom. Sigurno ti nije nepoznato ono nedavno doba kada se stanovnicima Jugoslavije pomračio um. Svedoče o tome krvave ruševine krajine u kojoj moga zavičaja nežno leži grobni hum. O brda Like, vi ste moje rane ljute i danas s vama gaze bez straha mojih rođaka kosti rasute. Raskopaše im grobove granatama i kamenje nadgrobno razvukoše za zidove svojim seljačkim palatama. Eto, sred tih kobnih brda uokolo Knina, u kraju koji je svuda bio znan po vinu, jagnjetini i pitomini, tu pod Spasom ja ugledah o Gospoda mi dat 10. august svoj prvi dan. Čini se da svako koleno roda ljudskog mora da se napije krvi svoje, mesa čovjekovog da poždere sopstvene porcije. Rođače i stiha i spasitelj je bio, ali šta je novo pod nebom, moj propercije? Večnost stiha zemlja je u kojoj ti živiš, večnost stiha zemlja je gde stoluje moj dom.
We came to the end. This was our program for today. In the name of the Serbian Heritage Academy, I would like to thank you all in participating and thank you all for coming. Our thanks go to Consulate General of the Republike of Serbia and Skudoplanac for their cooperation too. Hope to see you next year on the same day. Wish you all the best.